Hello, Adam here. Very glad you're with me. Today I got something a little different. A cardinal is one of my all-time favorite birds, and I'm going to show you how to paint it. I'm going to show you every brush, every color, and every technique that you'll need to do this painting yourself. So let's just get to the video. Enjoy. Okay, as usual, I've got a 16 by 20 canvas, and it's already covered in a thin coat of liquid white. And today I just want to put in a quick little backdrop. Don't want to take too long on it because I want to get to that cardinal. So I'll just take a 2-inch brush, go right into a little bit of alizarin crimson. This is the same brush I used to put on liquid white. Let's just come right up in here. And let's just get this on here quickly. Right about there. Okay. And I've got a little bit of pre-mixed lavender color right here. I'll just go right into some of that. We'll put this up top. We'll have a nice little evening sky in here. Okay. Just kind of using crisscross strokes like normal. Then we'll come down here and cover some of that crimson color right there. And now I'm just going to go right into some Prussian blue, put a little bit of Prussian blue in the corners. That looks pretty good. Maybe just a little across the top. Now I'm going to take a dry brush and blend all this together. Don't want to be here too long. There we go. And really I'm just trying to get the brush strokes out of it. Make sure it just kind of looks smooth. That's all I'm trying to do with this. And then down in here where the colors join, we want those to kind of blend together. Okay. Something about like that. Now I'll take a 1-inch brush and I'll grab a little bit of yellow ochre. And right in here, we'll say there's a little bit of a sun glow right here. I'll wipe that out just a little. And just use that same brush to blend. Okay. And I did this last to make sure I don't touch any of the potential blue that's in the sky. We don't want any kind of a green color. You notice I'm just kind of rounding this a little. Just a little bit. There we go. And we can put a little bit of this in what's going to be the snow down here. Go back to my blending brush and take some of that color and put that in there as well. Those colors will look good in the snow. I'll just grab a fan brush quick. Go right back into that lavender color. And I'll just come up here in the sky and just put in a few little clouds like this. And you don't really need to do this, but I like these clouds when they're in there a little bit. Go back to my blending brush. And I'll just go over this gently. Fade those right into the sky. There we go. And with that, I think we'll be done with this sky and move on. I'll stick with that same brush and I'm going to come right into some titanium white. Put in a little snow line on here. So I'll just start right here. Come to the other side as well. And just put that in. Just like that. That's all we got to do. No big deal at all. A lot of this you won't even see really good until you start putting other elements of the painting in there. Just getting some titanium white on the canvas for now. That's all we got to do. Okay. we go. And all these colors that mix in there from the sky look really good. Just like that. I'm going to reach over here and grab a liner brush. And I'm going to come up here and grab a little bit of black. Just black color. Try to roll this to a pretty thin point. And for this backdrop, we'll just put in a few little fence posts back here. Just small ones. And as I'm doing this, I just want to take a moment and thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel so far. It really means a lot to me. If you haven't subscribed and you'd be willing to do that, that would help me out a lot. That's important for folks doing YouTube videos. Okay, now let me just try to put in a couple little boards across this fence. And we don't have to get too particular about this fence. A lot of it's going to get covered up. Just got to be in the background. We'll try to get a second row of boards on here. There we go. Just quick. Okay, let me go back to my blending brush. I'll just kind of hit the bottom. Just blend that in. There we go. Something like that. And we'll move on. I'm going to go back to that fan brush. Dirty old brush, that's just fine. Let me get some dark color. I'll get some black and some brown. Oh, a little green, but I don't want too much green. Not in this wintertime painting. A little Prussian blue. Just some dark mixed color. And let me come right over here and put in a little evergreen tree. Right about here. There we go. Now just make a little line and then come back with the corner. And just touch it. Bring it down. That's all you got to do. I'm going to reload. Want to keep some paint on this thing. Okay, it just works better that way. And we'll put another one in here. Kind of close. Same thing, you just tap with the corner and kind of go side to side with it. Bring it down. Put one more right over here sticking out. There we go. Okay. And let's come to the other side. Let's put a pretty big one in right here. Same thing. If you just notice the angle of the brush, I'm just touching it with the corner. I can just touch real slow. Just kind of go back and forth, and I just look at the branches. If I don't like them, I make little adjustments. You can always correct in this technique, no problem. No problem at all. Make sure this is nice and dark here at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, you can easily come back and change what those branches look like. Very simple thing to do. Let me go to my blending brush. We can come right under these trees and just pull that out like that. That's all you got to do. Now I'll even kind of pull down this way. The sun like that, it might have a little shadow. Now I'll blend this in to the painting and make that look like a little hill it's sitting on. Ain't that neat? Really simple. Let's do the same thing right over here. All I do is just pull down. And the same thing. We'll pull that out a little long. It can be a shadow. We'll follow the direction of the slope. Just like that. And go back to my fan brush. And here in the middle, I'm going to try to put in what looks like cedar trees sticking up here in the center. For that, I'll do these a little different. I'll just get some paint on there. Good amount of paint. Just kind of turn the brush, rotate it as I go. There we go. And we'll put another one in right in here. These will be kind of close together. And I like these fan brushes. They kind of, when you hit them, they kind of fuzz out a little bit. Look like an old fuzzy looking tree. Maybe there's 3 of them right there together. Okay. I'll do the same thing. I'll set this little guy on a hill. Just by pulling out right there. Little hill and a little shadow coming out. Kind of long ways from the sun. There we go. And already we got several little planes in this painting. We hadn't even done very much. Looks pretty good. I'm going to grab that fan brush again, tap a little bit of liquid white, and just tap it a couple times on my palette. I'm going to just touch this lightly. See that? Very, very lightly, and it kind of brings some dimension to these cedars. Maybe that's a little snow on there. Just little highlights. That's all. Grab my palette knife quick and just put some little points in the tops of these. There we go. And we may work on those trees in a little bit. But let me grab a filbert brush now. I'll come up here and get some brown. And maybe there's a little black in it. Just kind of a mix of colors, really. There's some dark colors that I think will be good for a tree. And how about right here, we just put in a big tree. Goes all the way up and off the canvas. I like these trees. I really do. And we're not going to do much to that today, because we want to get to the cardinal that we're going to do. That's kind of the big deal today, is that cardinal. And we'll have a tree growing up from right here. There we go. Right there. All I got to do is come back and fix that a little bit. As a matter of fact, what I can do is I can build a shadow into this. The sun's in the center. When the sun's in the center, the shadow will come out that way. Same thing here. The shadow will come out that way. Okay? Little shadow. And now we can go back. Okay? And fix the snowbank. Just gently go over it. Gently go over it. And blend it in. Same thing. We can set this one on a little hill. And all these little things right here could be kind of snow-covered grass, or winter grass. Lightly go over that. There we go. Another little plane in the painting. And that looks pretty good if you ask me. And again, we may come back and do some more work with the background and the midground there, but I'm kind of ready to get to that cardinal we've been talking about. So let me grab the 1-inch brush, the same brush that I used for the yellow ochre. I'll just wipe it out a little, not too much, not too worried about it. Let me come up here and get some brown. That'll cover most of that yellow ochre. And I'll get some white. Okay, we'll just make kind of a light wood color, I guess. That's what I'm hoping it's going to look like anyways. All right, we got that fence back here. Maybe this is an entire fenced-in property. And we'll just make about a 2-inch brush width or something like that. Okay, Just go all the way across. All the way across at the bottom. Fill the whole thing in. Little streaks in it actually work to our advantage. It'll kind of look like wood grain. And that's what this is, boards. Okay. Get a little more. And we'll have right here a post. Pretty big post. If that post is that big, you wouldn't be able to see any more posts. That's all you'd see. Not enough room to get another one in there. All right. And let me go back to my liner that had some black on it. I just helped get a couple grain lines in this thing. Just kind of be random with it. Okay. Put a couple over here. Maybe a couple going up this post. And then right here on the edge, we'll put a little shadow. Try to give this a little rounded appearance, I guess. Some shape to it. Just a shadow on this side of the post. I hope you're seeing that. Looks pretty good to me. And right here, where this board starts on the other side of the post, get a little black in there. Go back to my 1-inch brush and pull that out. Pull it out and make it look like a shadow right there. And I just lightly go over the grain. Just lightly. Had a stubborn hair there. Same thing here. And that kind of looks like a fence in the foreground. I'm going to grab my palette knife, get some white, just right here on the top. Just lay on a little snow. It's still kind of hanging on there in spots. Same thing over here. A little bit of snow hanging on there. And at the top of this post. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to grab a filbert brush. Go back to the top of that post. And let's see. Let's just make it to where you can actually see the top a little bit. Just like that. That's all you really need. Now we'll take some snow. Just set it up there. Maybe right here on this side. It's kind of falling down. There we go. And that's all we need for that. Let's grab a liner brush. And we'll roll it right through some cadmium red. And don't worry about the particular red you got. Just grab a red. You know, I think if you wanted to get real fancy, I think they actually make what's called Cardinal red. But this red right here will work just fine. Okay? We'll just roll it pretty small. And I want to come right here. The first thing I want to do is I want to kind of outline where the belly's going to rest right there. And that's kind of my technique with this. I just kind of outline the bird first. We'll put the back of them right there. And right in here we'll have a tail hanging down. It's going to pick up some other colors. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that one bit. All right, the red will win out in the end. And how about right here, we kind of got the back of a neck. And we'll come back to here. And bring his head on up. There we go. And we can work with this. And I do not have a super steady hand, I promise you. So if I can do something like this, anybody can. And now with the outline, I'm just going through and just getting color in here. That's all I'm doing. It don't look exactly like a bird just yet, but stick with me. I think you'll be surprised at what it ends up looking like. Just get that in there quickly. Taking way too long here. All right. Now, when you come and you do this on your own, make sure you do take your time, because there's no reason not to. None at all. I'm trying to be respectful of y'all's time, so I'm trying to hurry up a little bit here. Well, you got a long tail, don't you? That's okay. Birds are kind of like people. They're a little different. Some of them have shorter tails, some longer. Let's get this filled in. Okay? And this will be a process, so it just takes time. And really, it's just all about shading. It's all about shading. It's just working with darks and lights and getting a shade in there. Getting several shades in there. Okay? And it seems like the more you go over it, the more it kind of looks like feathers. Okay? Let me set that brush down. I'm going to grab the liner. I had the black on it. And before I do that, you just do this quick. I'm going to just pull this back some so I can kind of see it. Cardinal has a little bit of hair that comes back, a little tuft, as they call it, on the back of their head. I just want to take a look at this quick just to make sure I kind of like where I'm starting with this thing. Yeah, I think something like that'll work. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the liner brush with the black on it. And we'll work on his mask. My cardinals have a little mask right here. And I'll just put it right here. Come up this way. Okay? Come inward a little bit and down. And something like that. And don't stress out over these masks too much either. They look different. You pull up 10 different cardinals and you'll find 10 different shapes that are slightly different. Just got to get something in there. A little of the red might blend in, and in my opinion, that's a good thing. Okay. There we go. We can always come back and adjust that shape, but right now I just want to see it a little. I'm going to grab a clean liner and grab a little bit of yellow ochre. We'll work on the beak a little bit. Okay, so this beak, you need to start kind of at the top of the mask, right in here somewhere. I'll just come down slow with a little bit of a curve. Don't want to go out too far. Not yet. Beak's one of those things that tends to grow on you. So I'd rather start a little bit small in case it does grow. Gotta have a little bit of a rounded back to it. Okay. Gotta be patient with this. Very patient. It's gonna pick up some color. You're gonna have to work with it. Now, I'll try to put a little eye in this bird. Now, cardinals, their eyes are really dark. Really, when you look at them, they're kind of black. But sometimes there's a little bit of a ring behind them. So what I do for that, I take my black liner and I barely touch a very little bit, just the tip, on some white. I come right over here in the corner. Right? And I just touch right there in the corner. Tap it a couple times. Okay? And it leaves a little bit of white. A little bit of white. It kind of looks like an eye right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. But you can kind of see where I touched it. I always come back and darken around it. Hopefully you can see right there. It's very faint, but that's kind of the way they look whenever you take a look at them. All right, let me go back to my red liner. And I'm going to sharpen that just a little bit right there. Some more red tones in here. Okay. Picked up quite a bit of white. That's okay. Hey, let's do this. Let's grab the black liner, and how about right here? We start to build a little wing. That'll help it come to life a little bit. And on the back side too, just a little wing coming down. All right, right here you'll see a few feathers. I'll blend this a little. That's just going over it, bringing it in. Okay. Don't want nothing looking super harsh. I'm gonna fade it into the color that's close to it. That's kind of what I do. And make some feathery looking things here. Let's bring some dark tones into the tail. There we go. And under the belly a little bit. Have a little bit of shadow. Not done with this now. I'm gonna do some more blending, put some more tones into it, but I'm just trying to get lighter and lighter as I go up there. Okay. Starting to come together. It is for me a little bit. Maybe even up here there's a couple little darker tones in there. Go back to my red. And we'll go over a couple spots. And really it's just a matter of just doing this, going back and forth with it. It's a very little bit of paint that I'm actually leaving on here when I do this. So you don't have to worry about muddying it up or anything. It's a super light amount of paint. I just kind of hit it and go over it until I like what I see, really. That's about all there is to it. And let me do a couple things before I forget. The Cardinal's got to have a little bit of a mouth. So I just take this and put a little line in it. Right in that beak. And then right over here where his feet are, don't see a whole lot. He's kind of sitting on his feet, really. Give him some claws hanging out here. There's one sticking up right there. There we go. Kind of see his feet a little bit. And what else do we need to do with that bird? I think I'm just gonna darken it up in spots, really. Right in here. Right on his head. There we go. We'll darken it up, but leave a little bit lighter as well. And then right here on the edges, I fan it out some. Yeah, but the best thing to do is kind of look at an image of a bird and just really look at how the light is shining on the bird. And just imitate that. That's all you got to do. Not too difficult. But hopefully this kind of gives you something to shoot for. Goal. what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shorten this mask. Change that up a little bit. Look at that. See how you just change it up. And that is all right. Nothing wrong with that. There we go. I'm going to use that same brush and grab a little bit of liquid white. Try not to get too much on there because that'll go a long way. Just highlight right here a little bit. It's a little brighter right here. There's somehow some lights coming around and reflecting on that side. Okay. A couple different tones in there. Looks pretty good. Soften that one. There we go. All right. Go back to my red. I want it to be a little redder in the tail. So I just put it in there. Okay. All right. And I think that kind of shows you how to do a cardinal, but you can take your time and do a whole lot better than this, I'm sure. Now I'm just going to go back to the painting and look at a couple spots. Maybe there's a couple things I didn't do or even forgot to do, like highlight the inside of this tree. Just quick. Same thing on this side over here. I don't need a whole lot. You know I just put quite a bit on there. Okay. I'll go back and just kind of just touch it and put some lines in it and kind of make it look like bark. Okay. Same thing over here. I just kind of touch it and push it a little. There we go. Make that look like bark. Use some snow or something's on it, and let me go back to my liner real quick. All right, and how about right here we just have a little old winter tree sticking up. Got a branch coming out like that. And this is simple stuff here. Little tree, no leaves at all this time of year. Let's get another one right here. Fill up this side a little bit. Okay. And all you got to do is kind of let your hand wiggle. Let your hand wiggle a little. All right, let it get skinnier and skinnier to the top. That's all. Pretty simple. Don't need to do too much with this though. Just an old dead, yeah, maybe not dead, but just no leaves. Winter tree. I'll give that one a couple highlights as well. Just right here on the edges. There we go. There was some snow sitting on it or something. This is pretty far back there, but we can do a little something for it. There we go. And let's see. I'll take a fan brush and pull out a little shadow here. Gonna smooth it over. And pop up some grass right here. Just touch it gently. Just blend it in the bottom, really. That's the whole goal there. See? Don't take too much. That looks about right. And we'll do the same thing right here. Pull out a little shadow. Kind of watching the angles there, making it about the same. Little shadow. Blend it in. Same thing. Right here, we'll just pop it up. And all you got to do is touch and get a little of that color on your brush. And make it look like a little bit of grass that's still sticking up through the snow. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe right here we should have had a little bit of that, and we didn't really. So I'll go back and put some in there. I'll be very careful though, because I'm really close to that bird. I don't want to mess with that. All right. What else? I can grab my knife and just put one or two little sticks in this little clump of cedars. 1 or 2 or 10, something like that. I see 1 or 2 way back here. Probably not too much back there. There's a couple under here sticking out. Maybe there's a big old stick sticking out right there. Okay, old tree growing right there. I think we'll call this one complete. I really hope you enjoyed this painting. I hope you'll give it a try. And until next time, remember, if I can paint, you can too. See you next time.